Hey friends, my name is Gabrielle and welcome to FrumiousReads, and I have just seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I have some thoughts on this. So before we start, I want to make it clear that I will be posting two reviews for this. One of these will be spoiler free and one of these will include spoilers. But I will be mentioning some of the things that I had a problem with in a general sense and some of the things that I really enjoyed. So I think we should start off with the negatives so we can end on the positives. And so starting off with some of the negatives. First things first, right off the bat, in the beginning of the movie, there are some things that happen with certain characters that I feel like is way out of their characterization. Some things that happen and some of the actions that certain characters took that I was just completely shocked by and didn't understand why that was put into the script. So there was a little bit of out of character moments for me throughout the film in general. The second thing I had a problem with, there were characters who I feel like should have gotten more screen time for the amount that they were advertised, and they were limited in what they could do, and just honestly certain characters, I'm like, why are you here? What is your purpose in this movie? So I feel like that was a common theme, was that the characters didn't have a purpose or should have been saved for the next movie or maybe introduced into the first movie and then built off of. You know, I mean, it's trying to appeal to the people who watched the original series and read the books, so there are name drops here and there. There are certain things that are kind of like little winks at the audience, and sometimes they didn't play out too well. I mean, without getting too spoilery, I think my biggest problem was just the lack of characterization and the lack of development with certain characters. The plot, while it did move overall pretty quickly, it was very jarring, and it almost felt like there were so many plots happening at once that honestly, if you asked me, I could not tell you what the main plot was. I mean, we kind of get the main plot from the title. It's about the crimes of Grindelwald. It's about Grindelwald and everything that he does. But overall, I couldn't really tell you like what part of the many subplots that main one fits into. There were so many things happening at once that it was hard to keep track of. So it just felt very crowded. It felt like there wasn't enough time for certain development. It felt like there wasn't enough screen time on characters that we'd been introduced to. Honestly, when they spent too much time in certain places that we didn't need to. So I guess what I'm saying is that if I had to narrow it down to the things that I had the biggest problems with in the movie, I would come down to maybe like 2.5. The 1.5 of them kind of go together. The biggest one I had was the character development and the fact that there were certain characters that that made no sense why they were there, and they just felt like they were just kind of thrown in as Easter eggs but really had no purpose. Going along with that, the half that I have a problem with is the fact that the characters that we are familiar with were doing such out of character things that they felt like new characters entirely, and I had to really double check and try and remember if that's how they acted in the first movie, and I don't think it was. So the out of characterization was another thing that bothered me. And then the last thing is the fact that there were so many plots happening at once. We knew the main one, but all of the many subplots were jumped to here and there, and it very much felt like there were some that they forgot until the very end, and then they had to quickly wrap up. So overall, I think those were the issues that I did have with the movie. And if you want a much more in-depth, ranty version of the things that I had a problem with, and make sure and you don't mind spoilers, or if you want to see the movie first and then see what I have to say, make sure you check out my spoiler critical review of this movie, and I will link it in the description down below. Now, onto the things that I enjoyed about this movie, because I feel like we should end things on a positive note here. There are too many negative things in the world to end this on a negative note. So, things that I enjoyed. We saw so much more magic this movie. I will tell you that there is so much more magic, and it's amazing to see because when we watch the Harry Potter movies, we're introduced to kind of like the schoolyard magic. Like, these are kids who are just learning how to use their wands. But yeah, I heard how that sounded. I'm keeping it in anyway. They aren't as magically developed as adults are, which I also hear how that sounds, and yeah, I'm keeping that in too. So seeing the adult magic that is portrayed on the screen is amazing because it's at such a different level. It's so much more complex than what we were introduced to in the original movies and in the original books, and we get to see a variety of that magic. Another thing I really enjoyed was, I think, and this isn't spoilery because we see this in the previews, is getting to see another glimpse at Hogwarts, and the fact that it's so familiar and it really brings back that nostalgia of our first impressions of Hogwarts. And I loved seeing kind of like the hidden things that they throw in here and there. So that was really great. I loved getting taken back to a place that I have such fond childhood memories of. It does introduce, I know a big thing was like it's a Fantastic Beast, but we're not really seeing any of these amazing creatures in the previews. I will say that yes, we do get to see a perfect amount of amazing creatures and just really see their effect on the magical world. So that is fantastic, and we get plenty of screen time with them. I did love seeing the familiarity between the characters that we've met previously, and for the characters who are newly introduced, it is interesting to see kind of their perspective on this war with Grindelwald. I loved seeing more about Grindelwald and kind of how he appealed to his followers, and there's an amazing scene that goes along with that I was really excited to see because it really put a lot of things in perspective, and they did a really great job at making you feel that sympathy for the villain while also making him a terrible person. So, and like, you can acknowledge that. You can acknowledge this is a really good villain. He knows how to get people on his side, and you could see his perspective. However, it doesn't make anything that he's doing okay. So I really like that they played into that a lot, and I found that to be very entertaining. So I guess overall, if I have to come and give my review a concrete conclusion, I will say that it is a lot of smoke and mirrors. I mean, and it's not just talking about the CGI, because the CGI was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed that as well. Just the movie in general, it kind of dazzles you with the magic, with the creatures, with big explosive things that are happening. It feels like when it comes to the details, when you really look at it, you start to pick up things here and there that don't seem to fit. And I can definitely see people who are new to the movies, or people who just come for the movies, really enjoying it. I can see the Harry Potter fans who really don't care too much about continuity and like the in-depth type of stuff. They can really enjoy it, and even like people as critiques can really enjoy it. However, I know that there will be a huge part of fandom who is upset with how this movie kind of turned out. So overall, I'm really excited to see everyone's reactions and reviews and to hear what other people have to say about it. But yeah, so that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you do watch the movie and want to hear my in-depth spoilery review, then make sure you click the link in the description down below, as well as the link up in the cards over here, and you can hear my uncensored thoughts on the entire movie. If you have seen this movie already, I would love to know what you think of it. I would love to hear your opinion, and feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But if you are going to talk about spoilers, make sure you mention that in the comments so that people don't scroll through and really get kind of spoiled about stuff right off the bat. Or if you haven't seen the movie, maybe just don't scroll through the comments until after you've seen it, just to make sure you stay completely spoiler free, if you really care about that sort of thing. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload bookish videos twice a week, as well as reaction videos whenever something cool comes out that I want to react to. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love to hear from you, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.